Back to Evan Everything TV. King of Fighters 15 is dropping next year, so we have all the time in the world to speculate about who's in the main roster and who could be much further down the line as DLC. This video will focus on third and fourth parties crossing over into KOF. So for example, Metal Slug characters won't be here, and to be honest, I just expect them to be in the game at this point since we're talking about shattering all expectations. This video will focus on 10 teams spanning comics, anime, and fighting game characters who will be cool to see. I will break down each team into 3 parts: intro, gameplay, and story. Just a disclaimer, I don't expect to see any of these, just floating some ideas I've had on my mind. However, if any of these characters do end up on the roster, consider my expectations completely and utterly shattered. With all that said, let's begin. Number 10, Team Alien Force featuring Ben, Gwen, and Kevin. I have no idea how popular Ben 10 is around the world, however, this trio could work in King of Fighters. Ben 10 has a device called the Omnitrix that lets him transform into 10 or more aliens. Each alien has a different ability. Along with him is his cousin Gwen, who knows martial arts. She can also manipulate mana to make shields and projectiles. Rounding out the team is Kevin 11. Kevin can absorb almost anything and is your typical brawler. Gwen's gameplay could work like the Psycho Soldiers, throwing projectiles mixed in with enclosed combos. And Kevin could be a blend of Ralph and Clark. Whatever armor he's wearing would do various types of damage. Only question mark here really is Ben. Which of his aliens would be used in his moveset? Only fighting game I think he's been in is Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion. It was like a cartoon version of Smash Bros. In that game, Ben used Big Chill, Accelerate, Swamp Fire, and a few others. As for story, an alien threat could be lurking in the King of Fighters tournament, and the team will have to show up to stop the threat. Another angle could be Kevin getting into some shady business, and the team has to bail him out. Number 9, Team Dragon Ball featuring Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo. If Dragon Ball Z Fighters didn't happen, wouldn't even be thinking about this one. With that game being in 2D format, it would help with any ideas for movesets. The thing holding this back are the characters themselves. Saiyans are overpowered to say the least. Dragon Ball characters can do god level things, especially Goku and Vegeta. Oh, and Piccolo sorta destroyed the moon. Goku was sent to conquer planet Earth as a child, but after suffering a head injury, forgot his mission and became the protector of Earth. Vegeta is Goku's rival and an anti-hero. Piccolo was first the enemy of Goku, but through a series of events became mentor of Goku's child. Goku will be fighting as close as possible with a number of projectiles. Vegeta would be the same. Both Vegeta and Goku could activate Super Saiyan for short periods of time. Piccolo has a slow moving projectile in Dragon Ball Fighters and stretchy arms. Plus he has healing. DBZ characters have a variety of finishing moves, so picking supers would be easy. Goku, Piccolo, and Vegeta get trapped in the KOF universe by an unknown force. This villain is draining their power levels to increase their own. Number 8, Team Avenger featuring Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. If you played any of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, you understand how awesome this crossover would be. The Avengers are a group of heroes who came together to defeat the world's greatest threats. It features a super soldier out of time, a thunder god, and a billionaire with a high-tech suit. Captain America meeting characters like Ralph and Clark and maybe Kim will be cool. Iron Man's interaction with certain SNK characters would certainly be interesting. And Thor would just love a good fight. Captain America will use his shield as a projectile and melee weapon. His super will be charging Star from Marvel vs. Capcom. Thor will be the same, but with added projectiles with lightning. His super could be anything really, just as long as he has his signature line.
For Odin! For Asgard!
Tony Stark would definitely be a distance character with rockets and lasers. His signature proton cannon will be the super. The story could be Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. doing a joint mission with Hydra and the Ikari Warriors, and they're using the Avengers to distract everyone while the investigation continues. Number 7, Team Tekken, featuring Jin, Ling, and Panda. Yi showing up in Tekken 7 opened up the possibility for this to happen. Tekken is lower on the list due to recency bias. After watching the Sakurai Presents on how hard it was to transition Tekken to 2D, but Street Fighter X Tekken happened, which is in 2D format, so SNK could just pull inspiration from that game. Jin possesses the Devil Gene, which gives him added strength, healing, and flight. He seeks revenge from his grandfather and wants to defeat his father. Heihachi and Kazuya both got to be guest characters in other games, so it's definitely Jin's turn. Ling is friends with Jin and tries to stop him from going down a dark path. Panda is Ling's bodyguard, so he'll be along for the ride as well. The Tekken characters will be like geese on steroids in terms of counters. They will have to add more air attacks to each character because they lack hops. Jin is an anti-hero, so him butting heads with someone like Rugal would work. Ling would try to assist Jin, and Panda of course would follow suit. Number 6. Team Gotham Sirens, featuring Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. 3 notorious criminals in Gotham love teaming up, and they could do it again in King of Fighters. Definitely the most out there pick, but after a dinosaur was in 14, anything is possible. Catwoman is a skilled burglar, Poison Ivy has the power to control plants, and wants to protect nature with extreme measures. Harley Quinn is a former psychiatrist whose mind was twisted by the Joker. Catwoman of course will use her claws and her signature whip. Harley Quinn would come out swinging with her hammer, and whatever else she happens to have up her sleeve at the time. Poison Ivy could be similar to Sylvie, I think, using vines instead of electricity. She could also summon plants and minions to help her fight. The only fighting game these DC characters have been in is Injustice Gods Among Us, which was made by NetherRealms, who also make Mortal Kombat. So even though they're both 2D games, transferring Mortal Kombat gameplay to King of Fighters will be interesting to see. The Sirens could show up for a number of reasons. Ivy being protective of plants, Catwoman may want the prize if it's worth something, and Harley Quinn would just be along for the ride. Number 5. Team HunterxHunter, featuring Gon, Killua, and Lirio. From their fun, wholesome anime to the King of Fighters, the Hunters could certainly make an appearance. Don't let the look fool you. Playing rock, paper, scissors with Gon is a death wish, and when Killua starts walking, it's already too late. I had Leorio here over Kurapika because I feel he's around Gon and Killua more. All 3 use Nin, which give them abilities, durability, and physical boost. Gon is searching for his father, who is leaving clues for him around the world. Killua is an assassin who became Gon's best friend. Leorio is also a friend of Gon. These 3 have only shown up in a 3D fighting game, so it wouldn't be much source material to pull from. The show, however, does give you enough information on their powers to give you a moveset. Due to Nin, they will be able to take a few hits and still get off attacks. Gon would have some charge attacks and still be quick. Killua would use speed to get in close combat, and his combo finishes would be deadly. Though we don't see him fighting much, Leorio could go full one-punch man on opponents. For a story, they could just simply be hunting someone in the tournament. Alternatively, Gon's father left clues in KOF. Number 4. Team X-Men, featuring Rogue, Storm, and Psylocke. Definitely a sleeper pick here. Like the Avengers, the X-Men have been most installments of Marvel vs. Capcom. The X-Men are people who gain powers through mutation. Rogue can steal people's energy, powers, and memories. She can also fly and has super strength. Storm can control the weather, which includes creating tornadoes, summoning lightning, snow, and rain. She can also fly as well. Psylocke uses telekinesis and can construct a dagger and other weapons out of psychic energy. She also knows martial arts. We already have Joe throwing out tornadoes, so Storm is a go. Rogue could be like Kirby from Smash Bros. And steal moves. And out of any character on this list, Psylocke's moveset from Marvel vs. Capcom could translate the best. She actually has a move that looks similar to Athena's super. For story, they can use Mojo, a villain who steals people and has them fight for his entertainment. He has captured the X-Men before for his games. Stealing KOF characters wouldn't be out of bounds for him. Number 3. Team UA, featuring Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. King of Fighters going plus ultra will be an awesome sight. UA is a school for heroes in training and is home to the big 3. Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, is the successor to the #1 hero in Japan. Deku uses the quirk One for All, which gives him super strength and speed. He uses shoot style, which consists of a barrage of kicks. The hot-headed Katsuki Bakugo would be joining him. Bakugo uses sweat from his hands to make explosions. He can use the explosions to fly for short periods of time. This gives him a ton of mobility, and last on their team is Shoto Todoroki, son of the second best hero in Japan. Todoroki is unique with having 2 quirks, fire and ice. Deku would focus on rushing his opponents with shoot style. He could also have his projectile from season 4. Bakugo could be mid-range with bombs, and with his mobility you can see a lot of mix-ups. He's like a fighting game character in the show, so it translates. Todoroki could use ice to defend and stun opponents, then use fire for offense. As for the story, this is an easy one. The young heroes would join the KOF tournament to stop a villain, and KOF has a good amount of those. Number 2. Team Street Fighter featuring Sakura, Ibuki, and Chun-Li. Chun-Li has been doing the rounds in terms of crossovers, and I still think she will be the last member of the women's fighters team. But let's say she isn't. Chun-Li is an expert martial artist and an Interpol officer. Her signature fighting style mainly uses a flurry of kicks. Joining her is a Shoto character, Sakura, who tries her best to imitate Ryu. Having Sakura over Ryu would spice things up. We see this man everywhere. Last of this group is Ibuki, who's a ninja that just wants to live a normal life, but always gets pulled into something. Not much would change from their Street Fighter gameplay as seen in the Capcom vs SNK series, so expect a whole lot of spinning bird kicks, Hadoukens, and kunais. Chun-Li could be doing an investigation of the tournament, and she needs a team, so she gets Sakura and Ibuki. Number 1. Team 7 featuring Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke. From the Hidden Leaf Village to the King of Fighters. If you watch the anime, you know Naruto and Team 7 are no stranger to tournaments. Team 7 is composed of 3 ninjas. First is Naruto Uzumaki, whose main move is multi-shadow clone jutsu, which creates copies of himself. He also has a demon trapped inside of him that makes him stronger at certain times. Next is Sakura, who specializes in traps and focus attacks. When she gets mad, she gets stronger attack. The final member is Sasuke Uchiha, who carries the Sharingan, which can copy opponents' moves and predict them. He can also use fire attacks as well. Naruto will rely on his shadow clones, and his super would be Rasengan or Uzumaki Barrage. When he gets close to death, the Nine Tails will assist him and make his attack stronger. Sakura uses a variety of projectiles and traps. Her super could be a combo capped off by one mean punch. Sasuke would use fire attacks, and while using Sharingan would auto spot dodge. His super would be Chidori, 1000 birds. The story would be Team 7 gets knocked in the KOF universe. They then need to win King of Fighters to get home. And that wraps up this list. Remember, this was all in good fun. SNK is dropping a silhouette today and a trailer tomorrow. I'll address that new character in my next EETV recaps video. In the comments, tell me who you want to see in the main roster and what third-party team you'd like to see. I'm trying to grow this channel, so if you like this video, consider subscribing to hear more. And number 1 on this list. So of course, starting out this list with Team Heat, LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosch. This team is just honestly spectacular and has so much going for them. They would be a new bueno of the block. The new American sports team, if you will. The team of teams with the schemes for KOF. Or, you know, Rugal, LeBron, Thanos, make a new super team. Whatever floats your boat. Team Bars, featuring Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and Drake. Team Hogwarts, featuring Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Y'all remember Cat Scratch? It's a good show. Tekken probably should have been higher on the list. But, you know, it's Tekken 7, so I'm sorry. I had to. I'm really sorry. It had to happen. And coming in at number 1, a whole lot of family.